Welcome back to another tutorial if you've made it to this one. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about how to customize your Finder preferences so that it can be more useful for you, and adding applications to the dock. If that's something you're interested in, then continue watching. Otherwise, you can probably find something more entertaining on YouTube. Anyway, so first of all, I'm going to start with Finder. I'm going to just open up the window so we can see what we've got. Right now, in the left sidebar, we have a list of favorites, which includes all my files, AirDrop, applications, desktop, and maybe some things that you don't really know. So I'm going to show you how you can customize those settings. If you go, first thing that I always like to do, I like to know how much file space I have left on my computer so I know I'm not running out of space. If you go to View, sorry, I had something in my way. If you go back to Files and you go to View, you can add on Show Status Bar. Now, right now it just says there's 4 items, but if I clicked on like Applications, it'll say there's 86 items and 891.43 gigabytes available on my hard drive. So I really don't have to worry about space. Now, as far as looking for stuff, this favorites thing is very nice, but Apple used to default show some other things that you might find useful and might need to access. So let's go to Finder, Preferences, and see what kind of things that we can enable. First of all, one of the things I like to have turned on the desktop is hard disks. Now this will put the hard drive for the computer that you're on your desktop, so if you need to go find things from there, you can find them fairly easily. I also like to have connected servers. That way, if I connect to some of the NFS shares and other servers that you'll access while you're using the CIT network, I can see which ones I'm connected to, and they're great shortcuts. This All My Files thing, to me, is really annoying. It's great to be able to see that I've recorded 3 videos so far for you, hopefully the 3 videos that you've already watched, and I have this about downloads, but for the most part, that's pretty useless to me because I'm never going to save my files in a way that this will be useful. And so you can customize when you open up the Finder window what opens to. Right now, it's All My Files. However, I like to open it up to my home folder, which for you is the one with the house next to it. Now, I'll close the Finder window and show you what that does. When I open it up, that goes to the window that has my desktop, which I have nothing on my desktop right now, documents where I'm saving my videos currently, downloads, movies, music, pictures, and public. This is my account and your account where you'll be saving all your information. You'll generally use your desktop and your documents for most of the files that you'll save. That way they move from each of your accounts. Okay, so other things that we can go and do. If we go to the sidebar, we can actually customize what shows up in the sidebar. Like I say, All My Files is pretty useless to me. AirDrop on the CIT network is pretty useless. I like to keep applications, desktop, documents, and downloads, but movies, music, and pictures I don't care about so much. And I also like my home folder, again, the one with the house next to it, enabled. That way I can see what I've got. I like to keep everything that I'm connected to. I turn off Bonjour computers and back to my Mac, but I like to have connected servers and shared. And then for devices, I just like to have all hard drives, external disks, and CDs, DVDs, and iPods. That way I can see anything that's connected to my computer easily. So that's generally all that I like to do as far as laying out the preferences. Other things that you can do, if you come back to the sidebar, if you don't like the order, then you can actually customize the order just simply by dragging. I like to have applications at the bottom, my home folder at the top, followed by desktop, documents, and downloads. Again, this is all personal preference, so make sure to adjust those to how you need. Anyway, so now, as far as customizing the dock, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Launchpad and Mission Control. They might be there next time I log in because for some reason it seems like I have to drag them off the dock twice. However, there is a lot of applications and software that you'll use while on the CIT network. One more thing to note about the Finder is there's several different display options that you can use for looking through files. This is one that's currently in is thumbnails, where it shows like a thumbnail of the application and things like that. You can go to list view, where you can sort by date modified, the name, and other things like that. I like column browser because as I click into different folders, it kind of gives me the path that I'm leading to. And then there's also icon viewer, which is great for if you're looking through photos, because it goes into this, let me go to something actually worth that will show you a bunch of stuff. Actually, let's just do it to applications, which it'll actually show you the thumbnail of the items that are in that folder. So it's really nice for looking through photos because it will actually load those photos in there. You can make it bigger if you want to quickly go through and look at the photos and things like that. But for the most part, I like to use column browser. Again, there's lots of software. Things that we use in the CIT network include Adobe Creative Cloud, Autodesk's Maya, and things like that, and then a bunch of other things that you can go through and add on your doc. Things that I personally like to have because you'll use them in a lot of classes, I like to make sure I have Adobe InDesign. To add an icon to your doc, you may have just noticed, all I did is I went and found it. So in most of the Adobe products, the application is encased inside their folder. So this is the Photoshop folder. Here's the Photoshop application. All I have to do to add it is simply drag it down to my dock. To reorder the items on my dock, you just drag them around until you've got the order that you prefer. Adobe Illustrator is also a very useful one. If you don't like using Safari, you can come down here and we've got Google Chrome that you can use. We also have Firefox and other things like that. Depending on the classes you're taking, if you're taking some of the intro programming classes, you'll end up using Python idle. If you're in CS 1400, you'll use Rupal and some other things like that. So go ahead and organize the dock and the icons with the applications that you want and you're going to use. Other things that I add, just in case you're wondering, I add on Text Wrangler, CyberDuck, and I add on some more of the Adobe applications based on things that I'm working on. So like things including Adobe Premiere, which is for doing video editing. I do Adobe After Effects, which is also for doing mostly video stuff. I don't use Dreamweaver, I use Text Wrangler because I like using raw text. Adobe Flash, if you're in the class, you'll want that. Lightroom is very useful for editing photos. Encore is for making like DVD menus and things like that. The media encoder is useful if you have to convert different types of videos to different types of formats or to shrink them to upload them to YouTube and things like that. Chicken of the VNC, if you're in the IT 1100 class, you'll find that useful for connecting to your VMs on our virtual machine farm. Some of this stuff probably may not make sense if you're not in the classes, but if you're in the classes, you'll appreciate it. We also have Microsoft Office 2011 for Mac on here, so you can go ahead and add those to your dock as well. I like to just add the three main ones: Microsoft, Excel, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint is all that I really add. And that's pretty much it. If you're in the web design classes, you may want to go ahead and add on the terminal because you'll use it in a couple assignments. And as you get comfortable and familiar with the CIT network and all of the different tools that we have to offer, terminal can come in very handy. It can also be a little bit daunting if you're not used to seeing the terminal. Pretty much what the terminal is it gives you the power and ability to go into text mode so you can list the contents of what you've got. So like I could say list out what the applications folder has in it, and I can get a list of everything. And it gives you the option to use the Unix commands on the computer, and so you'll use that in some of your, like I say, some of the intro web classes to set the permissions on your web folder so that you can start publishing your website on your CIT domain, which every student is provided with. So I believe that's all for this tutorial. If you can think of anything else that you would like to know, come and find me in the CIT lab. My name is Brian. Or you could also send an email to one of your professors or to me at Poulsen, Poulsen,